This life's guest was my friend Shae. She's a talented, beautiful trans woman, and she joined us to talk about her experience in the community and to answer our questions. I will list her Instagram and TikTok links in the description box. Please go and follow her. Show her some support. Request to join. I think you need to, yes. I think I sent you a request.
Yeah! Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened before. TikTok's not my friend recently.
No, TikTok is in. Shoot, we cannot say this one even on Instagram so they don't censor us. Okay, we're gonna be good.
Okay, yes, let's behave as much as we can.
Yes, please, let's behave. We behave like an adult. So I'm thinking that we're just gonna wait for people to come in. Let's just chat a little bit. Hopefully, what time do you need to go? Because
no, I'm good. I had to.
Good.
It's fine because I know that it took a while. There were technical difficulties, so
okay.
Let's just get into all of it.
Yes, great. So you look nice, by the way. We're gonna talk about your makeup.
Oh, okay, sure.
One of the things I noticed about you, about your character, about your personality, that you love makeup, and your makeup is always good, like flawless. I'm serious. You guys, look at her talent. I'm not lying when I said her makeup is flawless. Let me know in the comment which one is your favorite. Mine, personally, all of them. And the other thing is, we're going to talk about how we met each other. How do we know each other?
Yes. So thank you.
Yeah, so let's just talk about that, where we met. So I met her. So right now, we're going to put this on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube is going to get better views and more views. So say whatever you want on YouTube. I'll cut it, I'll edit it, whatever you want me to just remove it from the live, I will. So just feel comfortable. So when we were, so I was working in a Japanese grocery store, and I met her. And one of the things that was like really surprising, that she was speaking fluent Japanese. You speak fluent Japanese, right?
Yes.
And it's awesome. It's
Thank
so
you.
awesome, girl. Like, it's amazing. Can you say something in Japanese?
Just to introduce myself to everyone. 皆さん、こんばんは。もうそろそろ3時だから、it's gonna be in the night time, so はじめまして、よろしくお願いします。私はLaliana Shae. It's nice to meet you. Welcome.
So fluent. I love it. It's great.
Thank
How long
you.
did it take to learn Japanese?
So I lived in Japan for 10 years, just about, so like 9 and change. And then so it was just something that got better as the longer that I was there. I learned it, picked up a lot of it in the first year I was there. I mean, I was there when I was 17. So
yeah,
your brain just soaks up things better.
Right, that's true. Yeah. Well, okay, so later on YouTube, I can put our picture, because we took a picture together in that grocery store. So if it's okay with you, I can put it. It was a really nice experience. We were not paid well. It was a grocery store, but it was every day I go to that grocery store, I have like positive energy. Like, I like that place, really. It was nice.
I mean, they're welcoming. I would say even in Japan, it's pretty peaceful. It's lovely. Of course, like any place in the world, there's the ups and downs, but there you can be really, it's like a quiet place. It's mostly quiet. It's chill. Everything's fresh. The air is fresh. It's just nice. There's so many positive things. I love it. It's my second home.
We're planning to go to Japan, me and Sean, but obviously I need to get my paper things sorted out first. But like, it's one of the countries we want to visit for sure. Like,
oh yeah,
we have to.
Oh, you should. You should go to not even just the popular, like not just Tokyo. You should go to, you should go to Kyoto because Kyoto has that old history Japanese area. Even Osaka has that kind of more upbeat. They have the stuff that's outside. But there's even my Fujisan, Mount Fuji. It's lovely there. Up north in Sapporo, it's really nice with the snow festival. That's like up north. And they have like icicle sculptures. It's beautiful.
And how's the weather? Like, is it like the state? Like, do they have the 4 season or?
They do. It depends on where you are. So like, let's say I was in Okinawa for a big chunk of it, and it's island weather, it's tropical weather, it's beautiful. There's no snow. It's very rare. And it's just nice. You have the beach is beautiful. Everything's clean. I feel like Japan is just clean. It's just really clean visually.
No, that's one of the things Sean told me. He's been there before. He's like, you feel sometimes you can eat off the floor. This is how clean it is. Like,
it's so clean. It's nice.
No, that's, I mean, every Japanese restaurant I go to in New York is filthy. We both agree. Every restaurant I go to in New York that is Japanese, the bathroom is freaking clean.
Of course, yes. I have to agree. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I miss it, and I definitely want to try and go back sometime soon since they're opening back up. I'm letting tourists come back in.
Nice.
So that's something I want to do, of course.
I would love maybe one. I mean, I'm sure if you want to go, you have to go. But like, maybe when we're gonna go, me and Sean, you can join us. Would be better to have someone.
That would be so nice. I would love to go back. I mean, I could be a little bit of a tour guide, but
that's what I
back then I used to party.
And a translator.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I used to party a lot. So now I'm like, if I go back or when I go back, I want to do more sightseeing, more traveling, because even those places I mentioned, there's the stuff that's in between that's even really nice and beautiful. The scenery is just lovely.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I'm sure it is. Like, I see it on videos, I see it on the photos. It's pretty, but one day we will go there. So let's start with the questions. There were people on TikTok. Can we ask question on camera? I'm like, no, too late. I gave you a chance before because A, I need to translate them. B, I need to know if they're like respectful or not. We come from different cultures, and I don't know if they're respectful. I don't want to be like, oh, what do you think about this question? Like. So
right.
I was like, no, sorry, too late. Too late.
Oh.
I know, well. So let's do this.
Well, okay, so even for my followers, because I see some of you guys coming in, thank you so much. So what we're gonna do today, Donna, would you like to explain?
Well, what we're gonna do is, so I asked her to come and join me in a live because that I get, like, as an activist, I get a lot of people asking me, how is it like for LGBTQ in the West? I mean, obviously, in the Middle East it's like it's bad. They have no rights, and they always ask me how it is in the West, in America. How do they treat them? Do they have rights? So they ask a lot of questions. I'm like, why do I not invite someone and they ask their questions and that someone can answer their question and like explain the things that they're like confusing for them.
Right. And here I am. Okay, so and just so everyone knows, oh my God, what is going on? I feel like there's a glitch like happening. Anyways,
yes, yeah. It's
just
don't
so
worry
everyone
about it.
knows. Donna, kind of tell us something about yourself so then we also know who you are and kind of what you do.
So basically, I live in New York and I'm an activist. I talk about human rights in the Middle East. I have another account on Instagram that was like just strictly talking about human rights violation in the Middle East, corruption in the Middle East, and it got suspended. You know how Instagram is. So right now, most of my work I do it here on and on YouTube, and you know, that's basically it. That's basically what I do right now. But recently, obviously, there's a lot of things that are gonna happen. I told you about it. I'm trying to be a reporter. I got a license. You know, I get harassed a lot by the Saudi bot saying it's like you're a fake reporter. Like I'm a, you know, amateur. I'm not gonna say fake. I'm an amateur. I just got the license. I'm gonna work on it. And you never know. I might be working for the New York Times one day.
Hey, manifest it. Manifest
Yes,
it. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Okay.
So
okay.
I just like to have a platform to talk about. I mean, we all want to have a platform. Let's just not lie about it. But also, one of the reasons I want my platform to get bigger is just that I want to voice out everything that I care about. And the first thing that I care about is women's rights. Because, you know, I come from a culture and a country where women's rights are not respected. They're changing now to the better, but slowly. And, you know, for me and people like me who speak for human rights and women's rights, if I go back home, I will be put in jail. So I'm not sure that if we have rights now, we don't. But the thing is just that I needed this platform. I want this platform to get bigger so I can speak up and have my voice like out and have people hear my voice. But you know, unfortunately with social media right now, I don't know if I told you or not, my account was suspended yesterday, this account, and I managed to get it back. Yeah, like they're like literally like how I feel they're choking freedom of speech in this country. Like they're killing it. Yeah. And it's frightening. It's frightening because this is why I came to this country. Yeah. If I don't have it, what's the point? Right. But it's scary things. But let's start asking the question. So this person is asking you, does knowing you are in the wrong body was before realizing that this case is possible? Like I told you, they're trying to say is like you felt you're a woman, you feel you are a woman. You started feeling you are a woman when you were a kid, and before realizing that that is scientifically possible. How did you feel that? Like right now we know it is scientifically possible, but when we were kids, we were like, we don't know. So
okay, so not just even for me in general, I feel like that happens to a lot of people of trans experience, so to speak. So for me personally, though, I knew things were different even as an adolescent. I just knew I knew how I was perceived and how I wanted to be perceived, so to speak. And this is when I was a child. I could have probably been maybe I didn't notice it. So my earliest memory of even thinking about it was when I was in kindergarten or even maybe preschool. I don't remember. I feel like I was probably in first grade, maybe second grade, but probably first because the memory seems like I was that young. And it was more of because I have a younger sister and the way and I have an older brother. And so my parents would more look at me as to kind of step in where my brother was. And then what was happening over here with my sister, it was like, but those are things that I like that she likes now because I like them. So how are you saying that she can only like them, but I can't, when I was the one who said I liked it first. Like, what's going on?
Yes.
So
You're older.
Yeah, so it was things like that. And then it was something I realized that maybe it wasn't as open, and I knew this as a kid. And so in my head, and people will say X, Y, or Z, and everyone, and as I'm saying, everyone has their own views, or everyone has their way of walking into this truth or feeling exactly what they feel. So some people, it may take them a while to get here, but for me, that's what happened. I knew that it wasn't accepted, and so I chose to kind of bury it inside. And so I never said anything. I didn't really date anyone, even while growing up, because I just felt I didn't want to put anyone else through the stress, and I was fine just being myself, you know, but with myself, because it was too stressful.
Yeah, well, you know, if it makes you feel better, in Saudi Arabia, we're like, we don't know what's dating at that age. Like, we don't know. This is not, it does not exist.
Yeah.
It does not exist.
Yeah.
If you like a boy, there's something wrong with you. You like a woman liking a boy, there's something wrong with you, because you don't have the option of having a relationship. That's it.
Oh,
Period.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Things are different now, but when I was there, you know, when I was a kid or a teenager at that time, it was crazy. So let's go to the other question.
Okay.
Okay, and this is very important for me too, so I like this question. Do you believe it is fair for trans women to participate in women's sport?
That's a hard one, and I remember that one in there, and I was like, okay, so this is a hard one, and the only reason I say that is it would really, for me, and my opinions only, not what I feel should be law, not what I feel should be pressed on everyone else. For me personally, I feel as though it shouldn't matter. I think if we were going to go, and the only reason is if we're going to go based on that, it really would depend on the type of technicalities. Like, we would have to go on that. If that's how we're going to base things off of now, by it being a man or a woman, and that's how things work. I always thought sports were strange for doing that in the first place. But if we're going to base it off of someone's, I don't even know at that point, physical features or whatever, that's a whole nother thing. Now we're talking about, okay, so then you should have only this type of body compete with this type of body then. Only the people of this height compete with these people of this height. Like, everything's going to get a handicap at that point if we're going to keep now putting everyone's in these other categories. But if you're saying that it's something, like, there's difference between a performance enhancing steroid and hormones. They're two different things. So if we're going to judge them as the same, I feel like that's not fair, because they're totally different. Hormones affect your body in many different ways. They change your muscle mass. They change the way everything's going on with chemistry inside your body. In fact, they make some things more difficult for the normal person, or the average person, I should say. So it's not really an enhancement or a one-up on someone being on hormones, to where I know that their argument is, well, they have this and opposed to this other person. It's more of, then how about if we're going to start putting everyone to be pitted against other people by physical body, then that's something different. We should do that then, if you want to talk about what their physical body, I mean, because that's what it all levels down to, right?
Okay, so here is what I think, which, you know, it obviously doesn't matter because it's what I think. But I think it shouldn't be fair when a man does it. Like, there are men who does it only, like, I would say later in their career, in sport career, I mean, I'm talking. And they just do it just because they want to win over, when they want to compete against women. Like in the swimming, the last competition, it was like, what is that? It was swimming or whatever. And there's something that happened that they banned him from. He took the first place, and then the girl in the second and third place complained, and then they took it from him. I mean, I'm against that. If he was like he's been like that, but like since he was a kid or a teenager, or he started like from a young age, but then he literally did it like in like recent years just to get the competition. So that's my argument. I mean, I'm not hating. I'm really with trans people. I'm all with their rights, for their rights, but that kind of like experience that other women had, it was kind of not fair. What do you tell me?
I agree that it's not fair.
I'm not going to be mad or anything. Like I literally had you here just to let me know how you guys feel about it, because I get a lot of hate for it, but I'm not hating. I just think it's not fair, because I also care about other people's right. Everyone's right. It's just, I think that is this only one point that I think is not fair. So what do you think?
I agree with that being not fair, but I'm going to get back to that in a second. Now, are there pronouns she, her, or he, him?
It was she, her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to use she, her.
Right. Yeah.
So it's okay. So she,
yeah.
If she decided to compete, I feel as though, just like with most medical procedures, if the person is, and this was a question from before, but if the person is on hormone therapy for a year, or even sometimes it's required for 2 years, maybe if that's something that can be as a requirement, then maybe that could be something, whatever it is, where the doctor can sign off. I feel like once that's done, then it's, I mean, unless we're going to assess the person's body, like I was stating before, on whether they are equally in physical form with everyone else, and then they have the competition, that is the only way that I feel that there will be a way to kind of level that out. But just to say, because there are people that, who knows how far they are in their transition, it just really would depend on their body, because if it would really just depend on their body. Yes, those women, it's unfortunate for them. Those cis women, I should say, those cisgender women, I apologize for them, for them feeling that type of way. But I feel like as an athlete, you should be prepared to beat anybody. It doesn't matter what's going on.
To beat? To beat.
It doesn't matter what's going on. And at that point, if they feel as though they should integrate the male and female sports into one sport, why not? Aren't you supposed to be the best?
So
why not?
You mean male against female? Like, because male are like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, for example, Sean is a skinny guy. Okay. But if we fight each other, he probably would beat the shit out of me, because he has muscle mass. You know what I mean? So what I'm talking about is, like, if I'm a woman in a soccer team, and my team, is gonna compete against the boys, who do you think would win? I mean,
are you trained athletes? I mean, you and I aren't trained athletes, so of course we would not. But if you are a trained athlete, if you are Serena Williams, she can beat all of the boys.
Oh yeah, she can
beat all of the boys.
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
I mean, you have a point there.
I feel as though it shouldn't matter. I mean, if we're gonna go, I feel like if not you and I, but I feel like if people are gonna go back and forth about the sports issue, the solution could be to just integrate both. I mean, of course, separate all the other things that need to be separated, locker rooms, i.e. everything else, to make sure everyone's safe, but integrate, not saying that everyone should. I mean, football is the only contact sport that's really going to get messy. American football.
American, I was like, what?
Yeah, not soccer.
Yeah, American football, yeah.
Right, that's the only one that could get kind of messy, because I'm sure there are women's volleyball that can knock the men out. I'm sure there
are mixed
I feel like women play very great. I've watched women's sports, and I like to watch those better than the men's sports, because I'm like, yes, I want her to do so well. Yeah, I think I'm not really into watching sport, men or women. I just don't care. But this topic keep coming whenever, a woman wins, and then they're like, oh, but she's not a woman, or she's like, and then, all are going to be hating, and
people are like like, I don't want to be against the trans community, or I don't want the trans community to be against women who are like feminists or whatever. Like, why don't we just understand and just, you know, not hate each other? It's not like it's just so complicated. It's probably bigger than you and me, but it is. We're not in the government. We're not putting any regulations, so
no.
There's no vote on it, really.
I see the topic a lot too, though, so I definitely have seen it.
It's gonna
Twitter.
keep coming, and it's gonna keep pushing. So we're gonna see that. Okay, so this girl, I know it's a girl because I know her. She said, "Just want to say, keep going. I'm proud of you."
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and okay, so this question: is it true?
I'm proud of you too, whoever you are.
Oh yeah, she's a nice woman. Okay, so this question goes, yeah. Is it true that you need to go through a year of therapy before the correction surgery?
That would be true. And I know that it's so debatable. I've checked on Twitter because I feel like Twitter, you find like the deep and dirty news. But on Twitter, I definitely have seen, I follow a few trans people, and they'll say, you know, oh, this sucks that I have to go through therapy, or I have to get this letter just to get a surgery that I feel like I should get. And I work in the medical, I work at a clinic, so I work in the medical field, and I assist with providing, you know, these letters for trans people to get this and walking them through the steps. And I have to agree that I feel it's in place as a check and balance. And maybe it's just me being a Virgo, double Virgo, super like strict, but there are patients that will come in and they'll say that they don't, like, they feel after that year, they'll come to more clarity of what they want, come to more clarity of what they don't want. And then they're like, I'm glad I waited for that, because I may have thought I wanted it now, but I don't want it. I actually, you know, I don't want it at this time. I'm glad I waited. And it helps a lot of people. I feel like it's just kind of a process for you to get all your ducks in order. Like, think about recovery.
Yeah, no, it's a very important step to go through before.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, even if I'm going to do my boobs or whatever, or my nose, I will be like thinking about it for a while.
You have to think about recovery. You have to think about the procedure. These aren't easy things to go through. There's something that you should really consider as something crucial. There are, you know, God forbid something happens, but people do have botched surgeries that they get and then they don't survive. And it's scary to think of, but prepare yourself. Just as something for you to get all your ducks in a row. Mentally and physically prepare yourself.
That's true. Obviously, there's a surgery that I was gonna have, but I changed my mind. It was my jaw, because it clicks. I have a TMJ. It's probably TMJ, and it's like I have two options: either do the surgery or Invisalign. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do the surgery. I'm gonna go with Invisalign, and it still clicks, but I'm not gonna go through the surgery. So I understand. It's a very, you know, important. It's life-changing surgery, like a thing you need to think about before just jumping into. But okay, so let's move into the other question.
Okay.
What made you feel that you are a different gender? I think you answered that question before, but I would like to hear it again.
Yeah, so I just knew, I mean, I didn't know all the way. I just knew something was different when I was younger. And then I would just wear, I actually found an old picture of myself. Oh my God, I'm going to post it later. I was like, wow, that was me in 2009, senior year in high school, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And still so cute, so cute.
Aww.
And I would go out and I would go singing and dancing in Japan. I have my own performances, be on stage. I would dress up and do this and that. And at that point, I was just like, don't even call me a gender. just call me by my first name. Just call me Shae. And then I was singing somewhere and someone was like, oh my God, how many months are you? And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, oh, I don't know what you mean. And then she's like, oh, on moms. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't have that. Like, this is just how I look. Anyways, long story short, a few years, like maybe a year or so after that, I was like, oh my God, I should really do this, because it just clicked on me. Like, it just didn't. And I worked at a bar. Even before that, I worked at a bar at 20 as like I was just, at that point, I was like, I'm a woman and I don't need anything else in order to be a woman. I don't need anything else, because I was just satisfied with just being me. And then I was like, well, maybe I should take more steps to really walk into my truth. Like, why not just be me all the way? And because that was 2012 when I started working that job kind of opened my eyes. And then by 2015 was when I was like, let's do it. I had gotten out of a relationship and I was like, why not?
Wow.
Yeah.
2015. How many years is that? I'm bad at math.
It's a few years. It's
Yeah.
about it's six. I'm
like calculating. Was I here in the state? I was here in the state. Yes.
Yeah.
I was a student. So okay. Oh, this question, I like it. How do you face bullies and haters?
I don't really have many bullies.
Oh, good for you.
In this day and age, I don't really have much bullies. You know what? And even in high school, I had bullies, but I didn't really have bullies. People knew me. I've always been known to like just kind of give out positive energy. I really feel like that's the most I can do to anybody. And if I feel like it's just not going in the way I wanted to, or whatever the conversation is going, I'll just kind of exit it. And that kind of just pushed people away, the negativity away, and kind of brought in the light, because people knew, oh, she's cool. She's cool. She's cool. She's cool. Why not? Like, let's chill. Let's hang out.
Yeah, you have this charisma. Like when you walk in a place, I'm telling you, like you always give the place a positive energy. You just inject.
Thank you.
So that's probably one of the things. But yeah. So if you've never been
I have. I mean, nowadays, I feel like when I moved to New York, I mean, of course, there's stuff that happened in Japan. Moving in New York City, I feel like I wanted to connect more with the community. I don't really speak too much to many people, even now, because I feel like having that small circle is always so special. And so anyone who's like a hater, they're just not in the circle. And even any person that I may have been friends with and then stuff fell out, they got into the outer levels of the circle to where the inner section is unbothered. So I'm unbothered by anybody who's a hater.
Yeah, I think this person asked this question because they follow me and I get that stuff 24/7.
Oh my.
Yeah, and they think I'm like my skin is like iron, not iron, like nothing get through my skin, because
yeah.
How do you do? What do you do? How is nothing is affecting you? But it does somehow, somewhere, and it's just that every time you need to unplug yourself from this hate, look yourself in the mirror. Why do they hate me? Because I'm ass.
Yeah.
Because I fucking kick ass. Oh shoot, I said the F word. But because I kick ass. Because that's why would someone waste their time and attack you and harass you? Like, go away. You are using a fake name. You're not even, we don't know who you are. But people need, like, a lot of kids in this social media don't understand that. They take every comment seriously, and it's bad. Literally bad.
You should not take the comments seriously. They're just online. They're not, it don't even mean that much. If you have that support circle, that's the only people that matter.
Right.
Your family, whether it's your blood family or your maid family or whatever it is, that's all you need. And everyone else is just everyone else.
Correct. That's true. Okay, let's move to the other question.
Yeah.
We read it before I Oh yeah, this is a funny one.
Okay.
You probably went through it and you're like, what? But yeah,
Yeah.
for you. What's your response to those who say those people, those trans people, trans people are doing this for sexual reasons only? Let me explain that. Let me explain this part, because in the Middle East they have this concept that a someone, they want to change their gender just because they want to work in I don't want to say sex work. I don't want to say the word because sex work to make money. So they go through all of this just because they want to go into the sex work industry. What do you say to these people? Because there are people who in the Middle East who think that way, literally. Like there are male sex workers, you know, by the way, if you don't know, but they're like they like they think men are gods, that they don't think men can do such things or go to sex work. So no, they change their gender so they become a woman. Like what do you say to these people who think that way?
Okay, so I believe, even under the umbrella of the LGBTQAI plus, I believe that if it has to do with gender, like transgender, that's gender. It has nothing to do with sex. It literally has nothing to do with who you love. It has nothing to do with people that you're attracted to or people that you resonate with. Sexuality and gender are two different things completely.
True.
So
they
a
don't understand.
transgender person who is a transgender person will not transition because of wanting to have any type of sexual pleasure with someone. Usually. Now, if it does happen, I can't say everyone is not going to do that, but that's usually not the case because the transition itself is very taxing on the body. This isn't something that's easy to do. This isn't something that you just get one shot or take one pill or put on that cream or whatever it is, miracle wand, and then boom, you're now metamorphosized to another person. It's a transition because it takes time. So this is something that you have to commit to. This is not something that's just one and done. So I don't think anyone who's going to commit and take all of that time to do that should never be taken lightly in that transition.
Great. Well, that's very, I mean, thank you for answering this question, because people don't really understand that, you know, sexual orientation and gender kind of like, they think it's the same thing. It's just like so hard to kind of explain that to a lot of people, especially coming from Middle East, as you know, we don't teach that at all. Like it's a theology back home. So
Right.
you get the idea. Okay.
Right.
So let's move on. It will be fun translating everything you said, because I will have to translate it.
Oh, thank you. I'm giving you some nice speeches to translate.
I'm gonna be like, if there's something I don't understand, I'm gonna use Sean, because
Okay.
Sean, what is this word? But don't worry, I understand. Like, I speak fluent English, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay. So let's look at the other question. Yeah.
And let me know if you have any questions.
What was that?
Well, if you have any questions about, let me know.
Okay. So let's ask this question first. Yes. Do you think it is important for those transgender people in relationship to be honest about it with their sexual partner, spouse?
So this was the question that I was a little bit confused on, only because I was wondering if it meant, do you think that if someone's in a relationship with someone already and they're trans, but they haven't started their transition, should they be vocal with their partner? Or is it meaning before, do you think that if someone is pursuing someone, getting into a relationship, should they disclose that they're...
That part.
Okay. So with that, I think that someone saying that they're trans should not be a big deal. I don't think the coming out story should even be a thing with anything. I feel as though someone shouldn't have to come out to say, hi, I'm gonna live in my truth, because anything else that you have to do in life, you don't have a whole event for it. People should just be there who they are, and it should just be normalized. It shouldn't be something that there should be a big scene. Now, if someone is pursuing someone who they are in a relationship with, they begin to be in a relationship with, then you should be able to trust that person you're in a relationship with, and you should be able to disclose that information. I feel as though that should be something that you guys should talk about prior or in the beginning scenes of getting in the relationship, if that's something you want. Now, that means that if this person is interested in you, you're interested in them, you guys are compatible, you both chatted, not on the street in the bar, someone walks up to you, gives you a drink, and then, hi, by the way, I'm trans. No, because someone who you're just meeting is not someone who you're in a relationship with. That's not anyone in your life. That's another thing, though. But to tell you the truth,
I agree with you. Go ahead.
Right. I feel as though if you have that trust in the relationship, you should be able to tell your partner anything. And so that should be a whole nother thing. Whether you tell them that you're trans, whether you tell them whatever it is you have to tell them, that should be something that goes on. I don't think someone who's going to be in a relationship who likes someone who's liking someone who really likes the person for the person, I don't feel like it should be that much of a thing, whether they are or aren't. I'm someone who likes people for people. I resonate to masculine energy more. But if it is a cis male, trans male, or whoever it is, that's something that I resonate with. I mean, but people are people. And I like that. That's just me personally, though. And I feel that's my way of thinking when it comes to love. So I don't think that should be such a big thing.
No, you explained it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And I agree with you. Yeah, I wouldn't just go to strangers in a bar and like, hey, I'm this. I'm like, hey, I'm seeking asylum and I just, here. And I'm probably the Saudi government want to kill me. Probably
and I don't think
escape and run away. Yeah. But I know it's not relating to the same thing. But like, I wouldn't also, if I was, changing my gender or anything, I mean, as someone who are like in this country, I wouldn't be just going to anyone and talking to them and telling them it's not safe too. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
It's not safe to just go up, and sometimes it's not, because a lot of trans people, even now, are still targeted. They're persecuted against. They're being, their lives are at risk many times. Some of them, there's tragedies that are still out there.
There is a movie about it. I watched it. I just don't remember what it's called. I probably get it and then tell my followers to watch it. It was really great, and I was bawling because if a trans woman dies, the cops don't care.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, hopefully things changed now, but like I'm talking about like literally the 80s and the 90s.
It really depends on what state you are when you're considering the United States.
I mean, New York was bad in the 90s and 80s. I mean, that's what I've heard. I wasn't there, but like that's what I've heard. And Sean was telling me it was a disaster. But
it is. It still is, and it's scary to even think that someone is going to do that. And they still have those cases where someone can plead that they were, enraged or surprised or whatever by the gender that was their motivation, and it makes you feel like your life doesn't have much value. So if someone is going to keep that secret to themselves, I also thought the question was talking about whether it was if they had surgery or not. And I think that's a whole nother question
I think that's too, probably. I mean,
right. And I feel like though that's another thing, because I get this question myself. I get it on every app there is. And I feel as though personally, as people, you would not walk up to a stranger And you know, if I don't know you on personally and you're on my social media, you're a stranger. So you wouldn't walk up to a stranger and just say, "Hey, what do you got right there?" Or you wouldn't walk up to a stranger or a man and say, "How much? How give me an estimate. Where are you at? You know, what are your measurements?" Like these are inappropriate questions altogether. So I don't feel as though that's something that should be asked, period. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, people sometimes are just curious, but they are also rude. So, you know, whatever. You know, if you don't feel like you don't want someone asking you this question, don't ask it to someone else, or just keep it to yourself. So this takes us to another question, which you probably already answered, but let's just like repeat the question. Do you believe that the laws in the state are protecting you? Right now, let's talk about this time in like 2022.
In New York City, in New York City specifically, there are a lot of things to help and protect, and there's programs for many trans people or gender non-binary or people under the umbrella, let's say that. Now, in other places in the United States, there are not that many laws to protect there, or laws to even care for, even in the hospital. Even at that, let's start on the hospital, because not even, like, let's say you wanted something from a doctor and they'll just tell you no, and you can go up to New York City and get you can get many different things. So there are states that are progressive.
Yes, I mean, New York is a very progressive.
Yes, and so those particular states are beneficial. There are states that are still in the behind times and still need to catch up. And so for anyone who's in those states, they usually try and leave those states to come to a state more like here, where there are better programs.
True.
Even for them, because it's not even, think about housing. There's housing discriminatory, there's medical discrimination, there's job discrimination.
In the other states.
No, in the United States. So sometimes it's hard for everyone, you know, the people under the umbrella to even get jobs, to even keep their jobs, because now they'll have to have the job, but they'll have to put on another persona in order to keep those jobs, because they can't be who they are solely because the job will fire them, and then they'll lose their way of living. It's terrible.
That reminds me of that woman. It was just true story. She was a lesbian. She worked for Fox, but she acted like she was a straight woman, but because she was working at Fox. I mean, I don't know, maybe Fox is different now, but I think it was like 10 years from now, she was like lying and hiding what she really is, because otherwise they wouldn't hire her. So yeah, I get it.
It's true.
It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this person is saying, I feel I am not in the right body. How do you know for sure? And how did you know and made your decision? I think we already answered that question, but this person is like, he feels or she feels not in the right body. And how do you know for sure? How do I know for sure?
So again, yes, we did, but I like to touch it again. So again, everyone else is different. I feel like I tell even my patients, even my clients, I should say, I tell them everyone's transition is different. What may feel comfortable for me may not feel comfortable for you with anything, even with what I'm wearing makeup, my hair color, anything. One thing will feel comfortable for one person and may not be for the next. So everyone's transition is different. Everyone's body chemistry is different, so you'll take on the hormones in a different way. Then you have your genetic chemistry, like it's all different. So there isn't one way, but there are ways that in the medical field they like to try and implement to where there's checks and balances. So who knows? That's why that 1 year is what I feel is more comfortable. Yeah. Just kind of feel how you feel even walking through your daily life. Because there are people, and it's totally fine, that will detransition, and it happens. And it happens. They'll go through their life, they'll get they'll start transitioning, they'll go through it for years, and then they'll realize, maybe I don't want this. Maybe this is too much. Maybe I'm just tired of this, because as I was saying, it's taxing. It's something you have to commit to. So, and I mean, sometimes it's natural for people, it's easy to do, and sometimes it's a little bit
Right.
hard for others.
Like
So
you said, people are different, and the sad thing is that, you know, I haven't been in the Middle East for a long time, so I really cannot judge. People who are watching probably know better. It's just that I don't think therapy is an option. You know what I mean? To go to a therapist and talk and tell, because I hope they don't use this right now, but oh, I can't hear you anymore.
okay.
Hello?
Sorry, can you
Okay,
hear me
good.
now?
So
Okay.
in the Middle East, if you go to a therapist and you say, "Oh, doctor, I'm depressed," I mean, they do that before. Hopefully, they don't do that anymore. I don't know for sure. But if you go to a therapist, I didn't go myself in Saudi Arabia, but like there are people who did, and women mostly, because men, even in the States, they don't think they need therapy. Like, I watched your TikTok video. So mostly women who go to therapy in Saudi Arabia. So the doctor would say, well, if you're depressed, maybe you need to read more Quran, which is the Bible, but like for Christian.
Oh.
And yes, and that's no, really, we need to talk. We need to kind of, you know, talk about things together. Tell me what other practices I need to do to kind of, you know, like, I'm sure now it's different. I hope so. But like back then, it would be like, if you're depressed, the answer is read the holy book or whatever. So it would be hard to go, oh, hey, I'm gay, or
Right.
hey, I'm lesbian, or hey, I'm like. So I really feel for them. I do. It's just very hard. You know, you see how hard it is in the States? It is way worse back home. Like, it's just disheartening.
Even when I was in Japan, that was still a hard thing for a lot of locals to do, so to speak, because what I did was I would have, when I was saying I would have events. So when I got over there, I would go out to the bars, and I would go to somewhere that had a lot of military Americans and also Japanese locals. And at that time, there was the Don't Ask, Don't Tell going on, where you kind of, in the military, you didn't really let anyone know who you were. So this was kind of a safe space. And so I would have parties where the American people will kind of be able to party at the club, and also the Japanese locals will be able to go to, because themselves, they have to think about the honor. And mostly Japanese culture is always have one child. The men should have at least one child, carry on the family bloodline, get married, and they will disown you. There are people that I was friends with who their family had disowned them completely because they came out, and then they said, no, you will not, my family name will not have you, you know, dishonor it like this in one way or another. I mean, it wasn't in those exact words, but they would tell me that, and it would be so sad, because they would be like, oh my God, you're such a great person. I can't believe like you don't talk to your family. And it was just sad.
It is. It's just, you know, we're talking about hundreds of years of brainwashing. You cannot do that just like that. It needs time. I mean, and I always tell the kids who talk to me and tell me how bad their parents treat them. You know, I mean, it's toxic and it's bad. But like, I also put like this. I think about it like, your parents have been brainwashed. They're probably not an evil people. It's just that they've been brainwashed. They don't know better. As long as they're not physically abusive, just understand that you know more than they know in this topic or in this subject. So they're probably going to be mean to you, but they're not evil. They literally don't know better. But
well, everyone, and we touched base a little bit on this at lunch, and I personally had, you know, stuff happen growing up. You know, whatever it may be, and things weren't always great, but I never felt the need to even go through, and that's what I mentioned before, to even have this like come out, because I felt as though this is me. I'm still figuring out. I'm trying to figure out my life like I'm trying to figure out anything else. This is just me as a person figuring it out. There is no conversation that needs to happen because you, as my parent, should still want to get to know me because we're, at the end of the day, we're both individual people. And that's what I realized as I've gotten older is my parents are also their own individual person that they may have not known, you know, what to do, and they probably didn't. But our converse, as we've gotten to know each other more as just human beings, that kind of opened their eyes. Now, some people do have very abusive parents that maybe it will take them a longer time to forgive, and that's in their own right because who knows what happens. Sometimes things are horrible that happen, but that's why the education needs to be there. That's why it needs to be out and about in the media that, hey, this is what could happen. These people are here. We are here. It's okay. We also need love too. And so I'm so for the media and everyone learning about it. There's stuff going on. I saw this one meme where it had the two parents that were in the, you know, just the bathroom stick figures. They were all in black. And then their child, like a smaller one, was underneath the umbrella. And the umbrella is like protecting the kid from the rainbow, you know, just to be like, protect our kids from the exposure of the community. But the whole thing is, you shouldn't, people should just know, like, it shouldn't be something to protect or keep away from. Everyone is out there. This isn't something that's in one community. And if you think that it's only in America, if you think that it's only in the United States, if you think that this is only exposed to where some type of circumstance is happening, you're wrong because we are everywhere. We are all over the world. We are here. We've been here. And educating your children, just as you educate them of anything else, to love another human being is the best thing you can do. Because educating them on hate, you're setting them up for failure. That's how I feel.
True. No, absolutely true. I agree with that. Which we talked about that when we had lunch. Which it was just like, you know, I was a hater, you know, and I don't think that my parents wanted me to be a hater. It's just like I said, they didn't know better. So I was born to be racist. I was born to be homophobic, all that stuff. But I unlearned them. I learned everything because I realized maybe me living in the United States, immigrating and that stuff helped a lot. But also for people back home, we have the internet now. So they're like educating themselves. So you unlearn. So that's why I'm like not, like I tell people, don't be mad at your parents if they're not like very, very abusive, because I'm not a bad person now, but I was thinking that way when I was back home because I did not know better. I don't want, it's like, it's just, hate is a disgusting thing. It's just like, you know, it is part of us. And like, I do hate so many people, like, I'm not gonna lie. It's just that if it's for no reason, it's disgusting. Yeah. You need to get rid of it and put it away because just, there's like, it just bothers me because, you know, being raised to hate people for no reason is just so toxic. Shae is just so bad. Absolutely. It's just so bad. And just getting rid of that is just one of the best blessings that happened to me. Because why would we, like I told you, back home, they would literally, if you're from a tribe different from the other tribe, your family can go to court and divorce you because they don't approve that tribe. Like, it's insane, but wild. Human. Anyway, so this person is saying, we want to know how you feel mentally and emotionally because we care about you. I think he's probably talking about the community in general. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. You know, I feel as though I feel great. There, of course, like anyone else, I have my ups and downs, like anyone else in this time. Right. There's all types of things going on in the world. There's all types of good and bad things popping up, but I like to take the day step by step. If I'm going to plan something out, I like to plan out my day. If I feel as though I have control over it and there's something I can do about it, I do it.
I try my best to do it. If it's something that's out of my control, I'm not going to stress about it. If I feel like it's something that's out of my reach, that has nothing to do with me, that's over there, I'm not going to stress about it. I can send my love. I can send my condolences. I can
I
send my
want to
care.
follow that advice. I like
But
it.
yeah, but you have to really think about you have to think about what's here, what's now, what's going on here, what's now, and what you can live in, because you never know what tomorrow's going to be.
So it says that only 1 minute left. God, for the life. I just wanted to ask you about the club kids. To know more about the club kids topic, check it in Wikipedia. They have tons of good information and introduces the club kids history pretty well.
Oh my God, no, the last part. Okay, so club kids. You guys, club kids, my best friend, Jojo Club Kid, oh my gosh, fashion is off the chain. Yes, the fashion show was
that on YouTube later, but
yes, the fashion show was great. I love it. It's something I got into here. I mean, I used to wear Harajuku clothing and dress in all types of Lolita fashion when I was younger. And so I love it here. Like, that's just something that I love. I love fashion. Fashion is something I love. And I'm trying to rush it all into this 1 minute.
No, I know. You really have a good style. And maybe next time we can do also live and talk about that. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thanks so much.